All right, good evening, everybody. It is officially 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call this meeting of our City Council to order. It is June 1st. We'll observe our traditional moment of silent reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you very much. Following a very successful West Virginia Strawberry Festival, I'd like to ask the president of the Strawberry Festival, Shane Jenkins, to lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Beth, did you want to address us before we do the proclamation, or would you just like to join me up front?
I can say a few words.
Okay, would you mind hitting the podium, please?
I don't break anything. Thank you for allowing Fred Brooks Garden Club to be represented tonight, and thank you for the proclamation next week for National Garden Club Week. We appreciate your support. Today we took edible thank yous out to Mud Lick, to the crews who sweat and dig and help us with our all of our tasks. I'm sure there's something left. If you go out there tomorrow, maybe they got a piece of cake or a cookie left or something that you could have. But to catch you up on what Fred Brooks has done in the past 2 years since we were here last, we've been working with the Storytime group on Thursday mornings with Miss Bobby at the public library. We're hoping we can instill a love and appreciation of gardening in the little kids. It's a lot of fun. Next Tuesday is our first session with Camp Buccaneer. We will be working with 15 kids in 4th and 5th grade for a gardening club. We'll be planting 2 beds at the community garden. Each child will have an individual grow box in the greenhouse for a salsa garden. So we're hoping they're going to grow, they're going to weed, they're going to water, and then they're going to get to reap what they sow, which is the best part of gardening. We also hope you took notice of Marigold Magic, where the Upshur County 2nd graders planted marigolds and then transplanted them different places in Buckhannon. We think it went well. We learned a lot, and we hope to continue that in the future. But again, we thank you for the support we get from you all.
Thank you.
We appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I don't want to steal Dixie's thunder because Dixie is online, but what a great idea it was to involve the Upshur County elementary students to plant marigolds throughout our city. So if you see any of the flower beds with little signs in the fronts of them, they say planted by the elementary school students of Upshur County. So you'll notice lots of marigolds throughout our city this year, and I know that was a cooperation with the city and the garden club, and it's always a great thing to get the youth involved when possible. So
I need to credit the start of that idea. It was Jeannie Bennett, who traveled to Canada and noticed, I think it's in St. John's, Canada, just not acres, but marigolds that the school kids had planted and then transplanted. And she brought the idea back to our Delta Kappa Gamma chapter. We financed it. Fred Brooks helped with the transplanting. So I want to give Jeannie credit for bringing the idea to Buckhannon.
great. Thank you. You want to join me up front for our photography opportunity with the proclamation?
Yeah, I've got a couple other Fred Brooks people. They may leave me up here by myself.
Probably.
You're not allowed to go by yourself, man.
Who else wants to?
So this is a proclamation that we resolve here in the city of Buckhannon to declare June 4th through 10th as National garden clubs and National Garden Week sponsored by the Garden Club here in our city. So I urge all of our citizens to recognize the significance of gardening and recognize the beauty that's around us that is planted in the ground. So with that, thank you, Madam President of the Garden Club. There's a lot of words on there, but we'll just...
Yeah.
Y'all look at me real quick.
And look at me. Well, don't look at
Do
me.
we have to?
Now look at me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Up next, we have, as you can see in the back of the room, many of the members of our...
This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, we got to start over. Yeah. We have several members of our fire department here this evening, as we have always a special time when we get to welcome a new firefighter into the fold in our city. So Chief Kimball, there you are. I will turn the floor over to you, sir.
Mayor, we're here tonight to do the pinning ceremony or badge pinning ceremony of Marcus Miller, and I think tonight's a very good night for him. His grandmother's here, and it was his mother's birthday, so it's a very exciting time for Marcus, starting his career with the fire department. So, if Marcus, if you and your parent come up, you want to get.
Go ahead.
Is it in the packet? Tracy said you should have
Happy birthday.
it. Yeah.
You have it?
I don't, Teresa said she thought, I'm sorry, I asked her about that. Nope, just right. Anything else?
Ad lib it.
Might have to.
You should have that memorized.
We can try. You're right, we can do it. All right. All right, ready? Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Marcus Miller,
I, Marcus Miller,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States,
to uphold the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
to uphold the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
to uphold the Charter of the City of Buckhannon, West Virginia,
to uphold the Charter of the City of Buckhannon, West Virginia,
to serve as a firefighter,
to serve as a firefighter,
to serve this community,
to serve this community,
the citizens,
the citizens,
business owners,
business owners,
visitors,
visitors,
to serve the brotherhood,
to serve the brotherhood,
sisterhood,
sisterhood,
and to be a part of our community
and to be a part of our community
in all that it holds.
and all that it holds.
So I solemnly swear.
So I solemnly swear.
Is that all right? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, hopefully you can win without a tourniquet, so.
Stab me, stab me.
I figure, yeah.
Pretty good ad lib.
It's so cool.
Sherry, Bailey.
Get a picture of everybody. Mayor.
Yeah, put you in the middle. Put me in the back.
Y'all are related.
Grandma, you wanna get in the picture?
Hang on, one
Y'all can look at me real quick. 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right, Steve. Good. There we go. All right, as long as they got you. You and the man behind you.
Like I always tell every new hire, take notes, write a book, because by the end of your career, it'll be a great story. So, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Congratulations, Marcus. All right. Yep. All right. At this time, we can take a 2-minute recess if anybody who's here and they've already enjoyed the part of the evening that they came to enjoy, if you would, John's leaving, bye. If you'd like to leave and go get some ice cream, we understand. So I will declare a 2-minute recess and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Go ahead and get back into our general session. Thank you all for obliging the recess quickly so that we could allow everyone out to enjoy their evening. Up next, I believe Jody Light's here and to give us a few updates before we kick off the barbecue bash.
No ribs this time, we just gotta wait a little bit more. Thank you very much for indulging me. I just came from another meeting, so I apologize for being a couple minutes late here. And I'll give you some paraphernalia, as you always enjoy. I think I have enough for you too, Kate. Hang on just 1 second.
Thank you.
You have some of that already. You good?
Yeah.
I think I have another set too.
Fine, you can take a picture, but if you.
I think I did, yeah. Okay. Oop. Oh, that's good. There you go.
Just for council's knowledge, we met this week, Jerry, myself, Mr. Sanders, members of our police department, fire department, street department, Steve Wyckoff was here from OEM, Amby, and Jody and Deanna Grogg, and we what's that?
Robbie Martin.
And Robbie Martin,
And
yes.
EMS.
At EMS, yes, and we had our about an hour and a half meeting in here to talk about just some of the logistics with the barbecue bash, and it seems, well, from our side, I think everybody's side, that we're in good shape, ready to host a nice event. So Jody, tell us about it.
Okay, appreciate your indulgence. I thought this time in 2 weeks when you're meeting, we'll be right in the midst of all this, so I want to give you a little update. What I've got, I just did kind of a real quickie calendar. This went out in our program book on Monday. It's about a 35, 40-page glossy color, nice program book that the Intermountain will put in there. They send to all their subscribers, a little over 8,000 we'll be distributing. But the other thing, I just thought I'd try to do a little summary. So you know where your money's being spent, where the other sponsors are being spent, what's going on. Kind of give you just a real quick overview. We did make a change, and I got the blessing of the health department and a couple others here. Normally we have all of our teams, our food vendors, everyone come in on Thursday afternoon, and they're not allowed to do anything basically. They're gonna get a hotel room and they're stuck. So we looked at the opportunity to bring more people to town on another night, to get them in restaurants and bars and shopping and so forth. So I have spoken to all 14 food vendors today to confirm everything in those things that we talked about. So we are going to set up with the food vendors early, starting at 9 a.m. on Thursday morning, June 15th. They hopefully will be set up with the city's assistance by noon, 12:30. They will be inspected by the health department around 2. So that allows us the opportunity to have all, if not within 1 or 2, food vendors open for dinner on Thursday evening, and we hope folks will go down and enjoy some barbecue and so forth. So we plan on just keeping it small, but from 4 to 8 p.m. Most of the food vendors will be open. I think Mr. Foster's going to have the beer garden open, and we have an opportunity. I'm not going to give anything out other than there is a possible entertainer. Actually, we approved that at a meeting I was just at. He's a former American Idol from West Virginia, golden ticket winner that may perform that evening. So we thought that'd be kind of fun. So it really kicks off Friday and Saturday, 11 to 8, as you can see. I just want to give you a real recap of where we're at right now. And we have 2 or 3 of them on a wait list. So as you can see, we have 42 barbecue teams, 28 pro, 14 backyard, they're coming, and then 50 certified barbecue judges. And as you can see, they're coming in from 14 states. So you can guarantee we're doing what we want to do, is putting heads in beds and people coming to eat. Because believe me, they don't all eat barbecue, particularly the barbecue folks. They like to go elsewhere. We have 14 food vendors, including 4 new ones. So this year, for the first time, we'll have hot and cold and blended coffee drinks, espresso, wraps, quesadillas, breakfast things. We have someone doing fresh hot donuts to order and several other things. So we're excited about that. We have a couple others that have come in. It looks like we'll have at least 15 artists and crafters at Stockard, both inside the gym and outside. We've added to our kids area. We want it to be very family friendly. So that area will be over, kind of, you think the right side of Jawbone, over closer to the fire department, Madison side, or South Florida Madison. We provide free sand art to all the kids, and we've got hundreds of shapes and bottles and things, and they have a ball. We have folks there to work with them. We have the Gilbert's World of Wonder. If you haven't seen him, he is amazing, the balloon artistry. It's not like any balloon person you've seen before. We've done cakewalks in the past. They were very successful. We decided to get the kids more involved, so we're doing cupcake walks. And it'll be a whopping quarter. And we have one of our vendors, Taste and See Bakery, who is donating a dozen or 2 cupcakes. So the kids, even better, when they win, will get to take their little ticket, go over to her booth, take a cupcake of their choice. And she has a nice selection. We have a face painting artist coming, Cartoon Headquarters, as far as I know, doing their inflatable games and so forth. That will be on Madison Street in front of Sweet Delicious, so they can bounce, play, and go in and get some ice cream. But we also have an ice cream vendor that's been with us for 8 years, so we thought that was neat. The biggest thing that's really kind of crazy, and Katie and I talked about this, Katie has gotten bigger. At the very bottom, you'll see the Dino Roar Tour. It's not a cheap thing that we didn't have a sponsor, but we just decided we needed to do that. They're from Ohio. They will be on Friday only because they're booked. They're doing 3 shows free, 1, 3, and 5 p.m. I posted it first in February, and 2 or 3 days it picked up 200 or 300 likes. And I don't know, Katie seems to be more of an expert on that. When I mentioned it to her, she said, that's pretty good. So I reposted it. Someone picked it up and started posting and tagging a couple days ago. So I reposted it with the times. And in 12 hours, we're now up to, I think it's about 48 hours. We're over 500 shares, not counting the people that tagged. And I started counting, there was 50 here, and they tagged 4 and 5 people. So I'm seeing people saying we're taking off work that day to come to Buckhannon to the Dynamore show. So that means they're gonna have hopefully food and other things here too. So we're excited about that. I think Friday afternoon, usually Friday's a little bit slower day. I don't think this year it will be. So we're excited about that. Our cars, we have 6 or 7. One gentleman's 83 and had to have cataract surgery. Our little Aero car guy can't come. But to my knowledge, I know the big banana car is coming. To my knowledge, the Yoda car is coming. Ribbons, and we have several of those. And they're coming from Texas and Kansas and Michigan and those places. It is the first in West Virginia. Never been done. Closest art car show or event of its kind is in Columbus. And then there's one in Pensacola, Colorado, Houston, one in Arizona, is, you know, if you call big ones. So we're excited for this to be a first. We're disappointed that, and Robbie was there, and you might have been, we had hoped that the school system was going to jump on board and get the school kids involved, and that fell through the cracks with a new employee that just didn't pass the word along. However, my theory is if you get lemons, you make lemonade. So what we're doing is the VOTEC Center, we purchased a vehicle, I think it's a Chevy Blazer-like thing. They painted it a brilliant piggy pink, and it has our logos and things on it. So we're gonna bring that vehicle to Jawbone Park. It'll actually be in the lot where the art cars are, in front of Fox's, the old Fox's Pizza, across from the post office. We, as the barbecue, are purchasing the adhesive, a safe kind that they've recommended, and, you know, beads and baubles and bangles, and we're gonna let the kids, we're inviting the kids to come and decorate and be a part of history and art in Buckhannon. So we think that may be a win-win. Deb Harrison has offered to, as soon as I give her the details, she's gonna send that to all of the parents and the whole school system to encourage them to come down there. So you'll see our crazy pink car sitting in front of the old Fox's Pizza. Come down and, you know, stick something on and be a part of it. VOTEC then will take it back after this year, and they want their students to continue with it because they want to put a spirally pink tail, and we're looking some snout and some eyelashes. But we thought this would be a good way to get the kids engaged into an art project. We're supposed to be a very artist-based community, and we hope this will just be another facet of that. So we're excited that we could turn what we worried was going to be a failure into a success. And the ones I've talked to, the good news is all these artists now are going to be able to interact directly with these kids as they put things on the cars and give them some ideas. So we think of a really, and they're excited. I've talked to all the artists about, and they're excited to work directly with these students. And again, VOTEC, I want to make sure we give them full credit. They repaired, they cleared, they painted, they did a beautiful job on this vehicle. So it'll be the one, and we'll have some insignia of what they did. Entertainment, Festival Fridays asked us if they gave us that night, would we have a band? So we do have a band from 6 to 8 is Stepping Stones from Clarksburg. Saturday night, folks seem to be pretty excited about Ryan Kane and the Eagles. We understand they're pretty darn popular. Pam's shaking her head. So I think they're going to draw a good crowd. They're posting it out there for us. And if this gentleman does come Thursday evening, he'll perform from 6 to 8, and he has over 8,000 followers and likes on his page. So he's offered to put it out there. So as soon as I can confirm that, I'll send that to you so you'll know who that is. But we're excited because he is an American Idol. He got a golden ticket, I think it was 2 years ago, and he is from West Virginia, so that's kind of fun. So anyway, there's just a list of some of the other activities. We have the cakewalks for the adults. It's not just desserts. We have all kinds of other prizes. We have, it was very popular last year, the Laurel Fork Falconry. He has owls and eagles and all kinds of falcons and hawks and things that he rescues and brings them in for exhibits. He does the flying demonstration, which is exciting for folks to watch. It got a really good crowd. It's a very educational thing. We're just doing some fun things. The dime toss. We do have a sanctioned cornhole tournament at the Bicentennial on Saturday. We had a baton twirling expo performances last year. The gal wanted to turn it into a competition. We're kind of waiting to see if we're going to have enough participation. If not, we'll still have a couple of the groups perform anyway over on South Florida Street in front of the safety complex. Cruise in on Saturday, and I don't know who needs this because I just got it today. We have our DOH permit for Main Street to be closed, and at our meeting, the city suggested we close at 8 a.m., and I'll be putting that out. I'm going to talk to everyone on Main Street so they know it'll be closed at 8 a.m. The show is over at 4 p.m., and we have given them strict orders. They've got to be off Main Street or parked the way they should be by 4:30, because once those teams are done with their little ceremony and award ceremony, that's the only way they have to get out of town, because they'll come up Spring Street and try to go out. Just so you know, the Lost Parents area and the Barbecue Bash headquarters is in the old Fox's Pizza. We're delighted that Mr. Foster let us use that. And I'm trying to think what else. The last thing, and I think some of you have seen that, hold on, I do want to show you that, because you may want one. Pam actually picked up on this yesterday. She may have hers, but we try to not just ask for money, but we try to raise money. We've done a lot of things. We've done bingo, we've done a little of everything. This year, we did something really different. We developed our own deck of playing cards. Those are currently on sale for $10 a deck. I call it the Buccaneer card on steroids. There are, and you can see there are 24 Buckhannon businesses, 5 Lewis County businesses, because we started it over there, and they all have different ads, discounts, some very good ones, Country Time Cooking, you get free dessert with dinner, and so on and so forth. So that's just kind of our way of earning some money and promoting our businesses downtown. Most of them are downtown, not all of them. But the nice part about it, I think the Buccaneer card has 18 or 20, does anyone have one? Businesses on it? But we know for a fact that none of our cards but one, I believe, is a duplicate of that. We just didn't want to step on their toes, so it is very different. So, and they are good for, all those discounts are good for a year. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully we'll get these on sale at the Chamber and CVB. We're, like I said at the bottom, it bounds to, we hope for sunny skies, lots of people spending lots of money. The Goesway has a great impression of Buckhannon and the barbecue, and we hope you're as happy as we are. It's a little stressful right now, but I'm trying to get done so I can get out of here for you. Have you got any questions or thoughts or suggestions? And
I got a question.
yes, ma'am.
On this schedule here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it doesn't, the art card thing, is there a certain time for that? Or-
We left it open because I'm not sure with them coming from different times, there will be something put out probably noon to 4 on Fridays when they'll work with the kids. They'll be over there in that Fox's as long as they're in town.
Right.
But since they're coming from so many different places, I didn't want to pin them down. It's 1,050 miles from Houston one way, and there's 4 of them coming from there, so I didn't want to put them in a pinch that they had to be here. But as long as they're here, they'll pretty much be in that Fox's, I say the old Fox's a lot.
On Friday,
And Saturday. They're here for the weekend.
so how much of that parking lot will that consume?
Well, we're hoping to use the whole thing, because there's 6 of them, we'll have our car and use as much of it as we can. We may have some parking at the upper end or something, but we want to be able to have enough room that there's not traffic going in and out, so the kids can get in there and kibitz around with them, the artists can do it, because I just don't want anyone pedestrian issues. Does that make sense, Randy?
Makes sense, I
It-
hadn't
it takes
heard of
some
that
parking.
before, and I know that the post office's parking lot is open again, but they still use, a lot of people still use the parking spaces across for the
We
post office.
originally were gonna put them on
Yeah.
Travis's lot up on the corner, but then we started looking, it kind of takes them away from the event. And if you're trying to really put your event in Jawbone, so we started looking at different things. So we've got at least 6 or 7 of those in our car. The EMS is bringing their 2 little, whatever you call them, the ambulance, whatever, those will be there. We plan on having a canopy in the middle where the artists can interact with the public and the children to help decorate and just kind of let them know what the art car project is all about. If that's a problem, you have to let me know, but our idea was to keep it more towards the Jawbone area.
Well, no, I think we've been generally trying to avoid putting things over there now.
Right.
Because of the use, you know, I mean, but it's a parking lot, so it's not dedicated
Right.
to the post office, but I think the post office gets a lot of the patrons there use that part of the parking lot. versus-
Well, it is the only parking lot that is not unlimited. It's that parking lot does have a 2-hour turnaround.
Right.
You can run around the block.
Yeah, and it's to aid the post office, yeah.
So Saturday wouldn't concern me as much as all day Friday, but, you know, I mean, if that's only.
If you have a better idea, we're always open to thoughts and ideas.
Yeah.
We're just trying to keep them all.
Well, I think people also, just citizens in general in the community, also need to remember, it's one day, you know,
Yeah.
in
Well,
the
it's
big, in the big,
last 2 days, yeah.
but like Friday,
Oh,
like
yeah,
a bit,
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's one business day.
One full business
It's, you know, out of 365, it's one business day. I think we'll be okay. You know, if everybody just tries to keep that in mind.
Well, we thought about doing half of it, because we could jam them up together with 6 of them and ours and everything, but we just worried about, then they
Yeah,
gotta
no,
drive
I
through, then you
agree.
got
I
people,
agree.
you know,
Yeah.
your kids in there, they're wanting to
Yeah,
play,
we
they
want
want
to
to talk.
keep people safe, yeah.
Yeah, that was our concern, safety.
Yeah, yeah, and you're right, it's one day, I wouldn't wanna close that for a week.
No, no, no,
If,
oh,
you
no,
know,
no.
For one of the, like for Strawberry or any other event that goes almost a week, I wouldn't want to take that parking away from the citizens, you know, that long.
Right.
Because
I
we
agree.
are absorbing, we are pretty well using up all the parking on that side of Main Street then.
A lot of it. We were gonna put things in the, as we talked the other day, in the safety complex, but basically we're not. Just as long as we've got pathways to get the guys in to turn in their stuff, it'll be open for parking.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Really thank you for your support. I hope you come down and have some ribs and some chicken and all that kind of good stuff.
Just for everybody's knowledge too, there's a nice radio ad out plugging this event on all of our most listened to radio stations, including our own 101.3 The Bear, which by the way is the strongest FM radio station in the state of West Virginia. You can pick it up from Charleston to Little Washington. It's all the city of Buckhannon's support, sponsorship is all over the ad. So thank you for that.
And you have a full page ad in the program book.
Yep.
You'll see that when it comes out, and signage and other things. So we want to do our best to recognize your support. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Probably couldn't do it without that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The commercial's on right up to Ross.
Now, there's about 6 of them rotating on about 8 stations that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it's on Sky 106.5, the
All the West Virginia.
FBY, yeah, 101.3, 97.9. It's on all the major stations that people listen to here. So, all right. Anybody else wish to address council? I don't think so. Nobody else is here. So,
Public comments are closed.
public comments are closed. City horticulturalist will go to Dixie online so that she can get back to her evening. We appreciate her being a part of the meeting this evening. Good evening, Dixie. Can you hear us?
Good evening, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can.
Absolutely. A little low, but that's.
I apologize for that. I've got like 2 bars of service up here.
Oh no, I think we're being a little facetious. You're coming in loud and clear.
Yeah, I got to adjust the volume down a bit. You're good. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, so just a quick report so far. We've got most of the flowers out, including some new boxes down there on that new fence behind Stockert that was just put up. I think they're very visible there. I think they're very pretty there. They're actually the boxes that we normally put over at the wall, over by McDonald's, if you know what I'm talking about. Jerry Arnold and I have talked about making some changes to that bed since it's not a very safe place and it's not a very visible place. So we kind of just, we're going to make some project plans for that, and instead of putting those boxes there, we'll try to make that a neater, lower maintenance bed in the future. As the Fred Brooks Garden Club said, the Marigold Magic project, I thought it was very successful. We were very happy to help, and I thought it was a really fun day, and I think we all learned a lot. And if we want to do it in the future, I think we'll be able to go about it a little better. But I thought it was very successful, and the marigolds do look great. Let's see, today with the help of Jerry Arnold and Brad Hawkins, we did get those dying trees out of Jawbone and replaced. We're not entirely done with those. We still have to stake them and add some more soil and mulch them, so there's still some work to do there, but they are replaced. Other than that, we've got some projects planned for later this year, and we're just maintaining the flower beds and just trying to keep them looking as good as we can right now.
Well, Dixie, everything looks really, really nice. Downtown looks great. Jawbone, River Trail area. We really appreciate all of your efforts and your crew. And I know you've got one fire chief's daughter on your crew this summer, getting her up nice and early to help water and weed. So we've heard nothing but compliments. Strawberry Festival, lots of people approached members of council and our city employees and myself about just talking about how nice our city looks, and we really appreciate everything that you've done and all the work that you put into.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And the fire chief's daughter is a hard worker, and we love having her.
That's the fire chief of Buckhannon? Okay.
Oh, that guy. Never mind, I take it back.
Good to hear, good to hear. Great job though, Dixie. Yeah, I thought that, those flower boxes on the fence down there at Stockard was a really nice touch.
Yeah.
Me too.
Coming up Florida Street, that really pops. So, great job.
Well, thank you.
We also, before Dixie leaves, as you know, that we have, in a cooperative with a few organizations here in town, we have a pollinator garden coming. Those supplies were dropped off at our office at the Upshur County Development Authority today. And so Dixie and Jerry, I'll get with you guys tomorrow, or probably tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday. We need to figure out a plan for those to get those to a place where they can be kept and watered and anyway. So, but we have the pollinator garden coming. It's going to be down where the bocce ball court was at Jawbone Park. So it's going to be a nice addition to that area.
Might have been a reason they were dropped off there. The staff and management, the entire robust crew at UCDA could jump right on that.
That's like Andy and Barney, and there's a big crew at the Mayberry Courthouse. Yeah, that's staff of two. But anyway, we've got the plants and we've got the supplies, so we'll be looking forward to getting those in the ground for everyone to enjoy. And I know some prep work has been done down there at the bocce ball area, so we just keep expanding and keep making things beautiful. So.
If those are there at City Hall, I can just come by and pick them up and take them out to the greenhouse tomorrow.
They're at my office at the UCDA. So if you just want to, I usually get to work between 6:30 and 7 in the morning. So if you want to text me in the morning when you're free, I can come downstairs and meet you with the supplies.
Yep, that'll work.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
All right.
Thanks, Dixie.
Thanks, Dixie.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Up next is one Mr. Jerry Arnold. There he is.
Shazam. He appears.
Street Department, we continue to work on the Madison Street project, installing the tire distribution and curbing. We have a crew working the Scott Street intersection. They've installed the asphalt base course and repaired the neighbor's driveway there at that intersection. Also, we have our contractor working on the public safety complex down there now with some curbing and doing the facade, painting of the facade and that stuff. Nothing new under sewer to report. Water department crews working on repairing some fire hydrants. I'll be interviewing applicants next week for a driver's job in waste collection. Under engineering, Stockard and Community Center multi-use facility project. Jay's got a tour of similar facilities in Morgantown area on June the 13th. For the REAP grants, the gas lines to the two existing structures have been disconnected and demolition work will soon be advertised. I believe you did advertise that, Andy. Am I correct? Okay, so that's already taken place. And the FEMA community visit, he's gathering and preparing for FEMA community visit on June the 8th for the CRS review and reaccreditation. And that's all I have, Mayor, unless there's questions for me.
This morning, also in Waste Board, we do not have dates officially set in stone yet, but we know it's going to be in the September timeframe. We are going to have a Make It Shine event. So we'll finalize those dates probably at the July Waste Board meeting. We just know that we want to do it at that time frame. It worked out well last year in the late summer, early fall part of the year, so we thought we would try it again. We'll do 2 weekends in September. We just need to pick those out.
And we may, because I was asked by the Solid Waste Authority today, by Belinda Lewis, about tire amnesty. And the last time I had a conversation with DEP, they were looking sometime towards the fall, I believe September, early October, for tire amnesty. So we may schedule that because we always do that on the opposite side of the road at the new facility.
Mm-hmm.
So we may schedule that one of the weekends that we do the free collection.
Okay.
Hey Jerry, last year at Festival Fridays, we had signs that put up there, parking till 3 o'clock or something. Are those, do we still have them, or?
We've got them, we were gonna put them up.
Oh, great, thank you.
And Bert told me you needed the trailer moved. You want it moved on the other side?
Yeah,
While we're
that's-
talking Festival
I
Friday.
think it's right, the one right beside the handicap, or did we put it in the handicap?
Yeah, I think it was maybe in the handicap space there, CJ. So
Well, that was mentioned, yeah,
it was
so,
on, it was on the Florida Street side.
and the combination is the same,
Yes, sir.
that they, 1816?
Something like
Hey,
that.
everyone.
Well, it won't be.
Well, you
What's your bank account number?
Can't remember that many numbers.
Jerry, the old building across the street, is that gonna
Yes.
get taken down pretty
They're
soon?
working on it, Pam. I've got to get with Travis. The power comes out of his building. So the power's still on. We got to get that shut down from his building. So it's gonna take
What is that?
entry, the old garage building.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But yes, I told you, we got one of our guys taking it down and it's not costing us anything to get it removed. So I'm letting him work on it in his spare time. But right now, he's at a halt because of that power and gas issue. So I've got a meeting next Wednesday, hopefully that we can take care of that.
The tour of the facilities in Morgantown for Stockard, are we revisiting the plan, or is that just a due diligence exercise, or?
I think it's just to kind of see, just to see similar.
Structures, that's what I understand it from Jay and the architect, that it was just similar facilities.
So we're not anticipating any change to the plan that we previously approved or anything?
No, I think it's just trying to kind of get in that visual walkthrough of a similar facility.
Yesterday, we appreciate members of council, Pam, Dave, Randy. We had a lot of our city employees down to the public safety complex yesterday and gave them some ice cream on city council and thanked them for all the work that they did to set the stage for the Strawberry Festival and all the events that we have this summer. I don't think it's a secret. Our streets, waste, water, sanitation, fire, police, city hall staff, everybody is firing at all cylinders every single day, burning it at both ends, trying to help us get ready and put our best foot forward, and then also protect everybody while they're here. So we just wanted to show our appreciation to all of our hardworking employees. So thank you for getting everybody down, and we hope that they receive the message that we really are very, very appreciative of everything that they do.
They appreciated the accolades.
They did a great job.
Yeah.
Leading up to the Strawberry Festival, which is the premier event and the kickoff to a good summer, they did a great job. Great job.
Two more to go.
Good.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah.
All right, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Jerry.
Okay, up next, we have our finance director, Ann Barrell.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you your balances. Okay, this is the 1st of June, so not everything's posted. We have to actually wait for some credit cards to come in, and of course, our month ended yesterday, so we have some checks to enter manually. So the balances are close, but they're not exact. General fund money market and checking, $1,252,000. The CDs at $86,537. Historic landmark savings, $3,027. Stockard Youth Center capital campaign, updated that because of the donations we got in the last few months, is $454,864. That includes the $12,000 pledge. Coal tax, $65,000. Municipal stabilization, $917,000. Flood control, $78,000. Consolidated public works, $183,000, with the cemetery CD at $235,000. Sales tax, $1,057,000, and the American Rescue Plan Act, $1,938,000. I'll give you an update on the Colonial. I tried to do that with Stockard and Colonial, and it's Colonial's term. The basement doors, I went up, looked today, the basement doors are painted. They were finishing up painting the basement floors. Those should have been completed today. The carpet in the upper balcony has been installed, and the contractor's waiting on some parts to finish the chairlift that goes from the basement to the main floor. The basement kitchen's completed, and one basement restroom needs to be completed. The balcony seating was going to be installed the 7th or 8th. That's getting delayed again to June the 19th because of materials, the cloth materials that were back ordered. We'll be glad to hear the pollinator supplies are in, because she had helped to work on that grant. That was kind of between the two counties. And
Katie Loudon worked really hard with Ann, yes.
yeah, so they'll be glad. She had been working on that. As far as the Stockard building and all of the hoops we're jumping through with that with USDA, Jay received the completed architectural study. He just got that this week, and a new timeline was received yesterday, so I think that's in your packet. This information was sent to the CPA, Mr. Galloway, with the Gray, Griffith & Mays CPA firm, who is doing the feasibility financial feasibility study. And then Jay and I also met with Mr. Galloway to clarify some information on the building and current city finances. That was in mid-May. So the one other piece of information that the USDA needs is they want proof of no other credit. So that's basically trying to determine what interest rates are from other banks and get that in writing. That's been, I've called USDA and saying, how do I do that? Because I don't have a number yet. And we're just ballparking everything. But I did have one bank representative who indicated she tried to help us with that, and she's going to try to get something in writing from that bank, give us an idea. So I think that'll satisfy them. I told Jay we're going to send that application in, whether that's there or not, and then we're going to deal with that when it comes time. Jerry had mentioned the property demolition, the REAP grant, where we got some funds to tear down dilapidated properties. We had a pre-bid meeting here on May the 30th. 4 contractors showed up, so that was promising. Bids will be received in here on June the 5th, and that's to demo structures at 6 Ambrose Street and 11 Nona Street. Those were some problem properties. Then the other things that I could talk about are down in strategic. So that's my report. Oh, I didn't tell you about your payment of bills. You've got a whole list of payment of bills, and we've really spent some money lately. West Virginia Strawberry Festival Association, the final $5,000 they had requested was sent to them. Larry Gregory, that's the first half of the fireworks display for 4th of July. That'll be on June 30th. Superior Environmental Asbestos Inspection of those 2 properties, 6 Ambrose and 11 Nona, $2,500. Axon Enterprises, Taser batteries and cartridges, $1,700. GoDaddy for Microsoft 365 email essentials, $3,000. That's for all of our email for the subscription. Heritage Fire Equipment, repairs to Fire Truck 11 from the accident of Man 22, $23,000. Citizens First Fire Training, $3,000. That's for heavy rescue in training. Bruffy Trucking, $3,200 is done for Friendly Way. Central Supply Concrete for South Florida Street was $11,000. TradeWorks, $23,900 for labor on sidewalks in South Florida. $18,700 Neal's Fence Company to install the fence at Stockard Youth Center, and $10,000 to TradeWorks for the labor at the theater. Now,
Would you like to go ahead and talk about the Raymond James
Yes.
CD?
And I say Raymond James, but I kind of would like some leverage to shop. But my proposal to you about that is, I've just read your finances off to you. So you have, the interest rates are going up, so it's looking it's too appetizing to, you want to go after those big rates to try to get some interest on them. Municipal stabilization's at 917,000 right now. And we have this other CD that's 86,000. If you'd let me combine those two, that's over $1 million, and we could get interest rates anywhere from 4 to 5% if you would let me give me the.
Well, as you and I talked, we don't anticipate needing any funds out of our municipal stabilization fund, so it makes all the sense in the world for us to take advantage of the interest rates as they are now, and which are much, much, much better. We're talking 4 points instead of 0.0000005. So I would encourage council to follow this recommendation.
Is that a money market?
Raymond James is, well, they call it a CD, but it operates a little differently than a CD. They send you statements every month, and they have fees that's deducted and interest that's added. It's about 5%.
It's First Community Bank's third party. It's run through First Community Bank.
Through First Community Bank. First Community Bank is where we get it, right?
What's the term?
12 months.
And the last one we did, which was just a few weeks ago, Karen got us a 5.25 interest rate.
Yeah, and it might have been 15 months for that one. So it depends when you get ready to do it, what their terms are. But I would not recommend going 25 months. They won't give you good rates at 25. In fact, they go down because they don't know what's happening.
12 or 15 would be appropriate.
Was that Raymond James the last one too? Or was this our first time with the Raymond?
Yes.
That was the last one too, yeah.
Yeah, First Community is Raymond James. The other banks offer just kind of the traditional CD. I'd like to still kind of check those too, but.
We just did, I just went up and signed paperwork not too long ago to it at Citizens Bank, and because as you know, we have our accounts pretty much at 3 banks.
We're diverse, we're trying to be fair and still.
We have a good bit of Citizens, we have a good bit at First Community, and then we also have some accounts at Chase. Citizens Bank offers a slightly longer term with a little bit less on the interest rate, but it does work out about the same as a 12-month at First Community with a little bit higher rate. It's all about the term in which the money is invested. And of course, the more we invest, the better the percentage is on the principal. So.
Now, the reason I ask if it's money market, because, if it's in a bank, you're only guaranteed up to $250,000.
We are way over FDIC insured. We have to have collateral and bonds with the banks. We cannot just depend on FDIC. We're over
break it up
in every one of them.
Yeah.
But if it's a money market, that's different.
I mean,
it's not the same risk.
What we have collectively in those banks is what the $250,000 is for.
Including the money markets and CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it will not cover us.
We have to have letters of credit and bonds and collateral, and we have to do that.
Just in Wasteboard alone, our money market and checking account is $1.2 million. Now, it's that right now because we have several expenditures to make over the next 12 months, so that will come down some, but just in one account, we're that high. Because we've got some major investments we need to make in our waste department.
We just want to get something in better interest rates right now.
And Andy,
take advantage of what we've got right there.
To be clear.
You need a motion to that effect?
David.
To be clear, there would be a penalty if we withdrew the funds before the term that's established.
Yes, that's
It's not that the funds couldn't be reached if you had to get to them,
Correct.
but there would be a penalty.
Right.
Yeah, we just closed out a small CD, and this was, the interest rates are really low. But we went ahead and did that so we could take advantage of the higher interest rates waste collection were approving. So the interest rates it was closing out was like
It was several zeros and like a 1.
Yeah. So our penalty was $20, and when you're looking at that, we're getting 4% interest in the CD, so it was really no brainer.
Amy just didn't get paid for that last hour of work from 9 to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened. So
Yeah, you were going to say?
He was going to give me a motion, I think.
I think he was.
I move we approve the certificate of deposit.
CJ motions, we have a second by Macaulay. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Amby.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Up next is our fire chief
Good evening.
and father of Jansen Kimball, Jamie Kimball.
Everybody doing all right?
Yeah.
Beautiful evening out. In your packet is our activity through April, and for the month of April, we're staying on track for about 100 calls a month. We're down a little bit from last year, but in the last 2 weeks at Strawberry Festival, we've had 4 fires in the last 7 days, so it's been kind of busy over the last week. Just to talk about tonight, I want to thank y'all for we're fully staffed at this time with Marcus Miller coming on board, him being sworn in tonight. Strawberry Festival and the review, it went very well for us. Thursday and Friday were busy, normal, probably 8 to 10 calls a day, mostly falls, medical calls, a couple car wrecks. Saturday was pretty uneventful because of the weather. We did put our plan in place that we typically do with the side-by-sides, and medical response within the parade route was separated from any type of response outside the parade area. So, and that is the same template we're using for the Walmsby event. So today we had another medical planning meeting just to go over expectations of services with community care and WVU, and myself and the Upshur EMS were there just to clarify everybody's where they're going to be. The biggest question was the operational periods, and with IAP going, everybody was going to be shared that, so they would know the exact times that the operational period would happen. The only thing from the fire and EMS side that we had problems with during Strawberry Festival, with the end of the parade being at College in Maine, we had approached the college for some water and electric. That did not happen. So our first aid station did not have that. So I'm going to get with John Bowman this week and make sure we have that for the Walmsley event, just because in July it'll probably be like it is out here right now. We'll probably need that. Again, planning for the barbecue bash and the Walmsley event coming. It's a lot of planning going on. We got to make sure our citizens are safe, especially with the international groups coming in. We want to make sure we're ready for any type of event. We do have the CST team coming back, the Federal Hazmat team. They come in for every Strawberry Festival. They do their thing, very good at what they do. And if something does happen, we do need them. They are very professional in what they do. We can get more resources through them if something does happen. Training facility, if y'all have not made it out there, our house is almost complete. We're actually putting some furniture in it now. We're going to put doorknobs on. So hopefully within a couple, 3 weeks, we will be out there doing some hose dragging and training, and the police department can actually go out and do some entry stuff that they do too. And maybe we can co-op on some MCI training, mass casualty, like maybe an active shooter or something type events. Anytime we can get together and work together, it's great. We continue our recruitment efforts for volunteers. Captain Glenn Davis and I attended a workshop up at the high school, a career day. Spoke to a lot of students. They're high school students, and the majority of them are leaving for college, but you never know, you might get one of them to get the bug to even join a fire department where they're going, and one of these days they come back and can support our system. We continue to do that, reaching out to people at the college and at the high school, trying to gain some youth, and it's rough. It really is. 2 other things I'm working collaboratively with right now with Elkins and the Weston Fire Department. The peer support system for mental health in first responders. I attended the paid chiefs meeting in Charleston a couple weeks ago, and we all sat down and talked about problems every city's having in West Virginia, It's getting people, it's keeping people, it's homelessness, drug activity, and keeping your people that you do have healthy, mentally and physically. And the two things I'm talking about right now is the mental side of it. I've been working on it for about a year, trying to get a peer support system in place here in Upshur County, and also the surrounding counties. They feel the need also, because if something would terribly happen here, you don't want your own department to have to try to deal with their own issue. We would have friends from outside come in and support us in that. I did a survey about a year ago asking all our members just certain questions on training and different things, and if somebody had a mental issue, who would they rather talk to? And almost 96% of the members said another firefighter from within our department or a firefighter that they knew. So, you know, we're firefighters, we like each other, you know, so. The other thing I'm working on is a cancer initiative. We put a SOG in place, a cancer SOG, that when we go to fires now, the dirty gear, the dirty tools, the dirty packs, they come back in a pickup, they get deconned, everything gets washed. Firefighting is a very high risk for cancer. Columbus Fire has about 12% of their firefighters have cancer now. The state started a presumption effort. So right now there's a lot of tests out there. We're trying to find what best fits us to start giving annual tests for cancer. It's either a blood draw, which Lieutenant Brugnoli wouldn't be able to do that because he doesn't like to get blood drawn. But they do have ultrasound tests, so we're trying to figure out which one best fits us and plan for that annually, especially, you know, if somebody's gonna be long-term with us. If with the state trying to do that, if you don't have records of people, if you only do it 1 year and then wait 10 more years, there's nothing to say that they had a problem at a fire. There's ways to track that if you do it annually. So working on that right now too. So that's all I have, unless y'all have some questions.
What about the blood screening? Pushing for that every year.
The rotary blood,
Yeah.
it's a completely different thing.
Oh, different thing.
Yeah, now that would work for like some annual physical stuff, you know, cholesterol and stuff like that, blood sugars. But the blood draw for the cancer is a whole different thing. So working on it, trying to figure out which one's the best. The less invasive is definitely the ultrasound. You just go over you. The blood work is sent away. It has to go through your doctor, so your insurance may partially pay for it, and then there's a cost after that. So we're just trying to figure out which way is best to do it. So.
But we do want to encourage people to take advantage of the blood screening.
Yes.
I have my appointment 7:24 a.m. on the 24th of June. So I'll be there.
They're by appointment only, I believe. Right?
Yeah. They started that with COVID, and that's just worked for them. So now you make an appointment. You can do it online. So
encourage everybody to get it done.
Yep.
any questions for Chief? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. O'Neill.
Good evening. Good to be with you. I just want to briefly just make a few things, just bring a few things to your attention. We've been served with a new complaint in magistrate court, or I should say the sanitary board has, related to a sewer backup on Fayette Street. That has been submitted to Travelers. They're handling the defense on that, but I'll be managing the outside counsel, and we're dealing with that. The claim was submitted, denied, and then the property owner has now filed the complaint in magistrate court. On the zoning board of appeals lawsuit that we discussed in previous meetings, I've had the city and the mayor dismissed from that suit successfully because it was pleaded incorrectly. The complainant has modified their complaint, and we're proceeding with that. And on the Wesleyan closing, we're prepared to close on or before July 1st, but I need to know who at the college is my counterpart in this transaction and who to kind of coordinate things with. So if someone can.
We can talk to Dr. Moore.
Yeah, and have them name somebody. But that's really all. I'll be happy to take any questions on any other issues that the council has.
Okay. Anybody got questions? Nope.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, under correspondence and information, we've got a few things. We want to also keep reminding folks that we will not be having a city council meeting on Thursday, July the 20th. That has been canceled due to scheduling conflicts with the Wamsby event. We had two proclamations that are annual that we do every Friendly Way Day and every Wilbur Grub Day during our Strawberry Festival. We honored Buddy Ray Zickafoos at Wilbur Webb Grub Day, and we honored Vaden Queen at the Firefighter Recognition Friendly Way Day a couple weeks ago. And then we've also got the notice of grant award for the Poundstone River Walk Trail Extension Construction Phase 2. It heads southbound from the current end at Marion Street. We have the notice of advertisement for bids for the REAP grant demolition project that Amby made mention of. We already spoke of this, but the Mayor and Council's Employee Appreciation Day was yesterday. And then we also want the public to be aware that the final TV cable board meeting to discuss the franchise renewal proposition will be on the 7th, which will be next Thursday? Next Thursday here at City Hall. So we have had the public hearing. No one was...
It's Wednesday, actually.
Is it Wednesday? Okay, Wednesday. Okay, thank you. We had the public hearing, and no one was here to speak at that public hearing, but we advertised it as we always do, but we will be meeting to make our final recommendation back to council for the 15th meeting. Under the consent agenda, we have the approval of the regular meeting minutes from 5/16, and then we also have the building and wiring permits and the approval of the payment of our bills. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
We'll give it to Jack. Give you a second. Is that okay? So Jack will give you the motion, and we'll give Mr. McCauley the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Like sign opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Down to strategic issues for discussion or vote. We have dispensed with F1, F2. Just wanted to provide the council with a brief update. The Parks and Recreation Board is working really, really hard. We have been meeting every other week. They're taking this very seriously. This most recent time we met physically at the Buckhannon City Park on Park Street, and then we also drove across town and met at the North Buckhannon Riverfront Park. We will be starting our work, our first round of recommendations to the Consolidated Public Works Board following this upcoming meeting, which will be next Wednesday as well. So following the TV cable board meeting, we'll be going to the park. We'll be meeting at the city park first. That's where we're going to be beginning. So we're going to be underneath one of the pavilions. We're going to have a map, and we're going to sketch out our first wish list, basically, to take to Consolidated. This group is really wanting to make significant improvements to our parks, and you know, we have done a great job with Jawbone Park. It is a show place. It's beautiful, but we've not done the same to a lot of the other parks. And the city park needs work, a lot of it. And so I'm really proud of the group, and I'm looking forward to us making some really nice improvements to the city park. So if you care to join us, we will be there at 6 o'clock on the 7th, which will be Wednesday, and that will be the full board and committees coming to that meeting, and we're going to spend an hour and a half or so just sketching out our first plans. So we've toured all the parks, we've done an audit of all the parks, we've had a lot of discussion, and we've prioritized the city park. So I'm happy with the group, and I think they're happy to be a part of it, and they're really looking forward to seeing their efforts seeing the fruits of their labors being carried out. So join us if you can. F3, as you'll recall, we had a visit from the Upshur County Senior Center Director at our last meeting. The Revenue and Expense Review Committee has met twice regarding this. We did not have any of the necessary information that we asked for in the meeting until yesterday. We met on Tuesday. And we did not have the information up until that point. So I emailed the director back, and the Revenue and Expense Review Committee is going to meet again sometime between now and the June 15th meeting, and we hope to be able to have a recommendation back to you either way, or a portion of for council to consider at the June 15th meeting. So unfortunately, we just don't have the information that we had requested.
Are you looking for a motion to table that then?
If you'd like to, sure.
I'll also move.
I'll second.
So we have a motion to table until the July 15th meeting. That was made by Macaulay. We have a second by Bucklew. Is there any further discussion? Hearing the need for none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries unanimously. F4, also from the Revenue and Expense Review Committee, I just, prior to this, I raced up to Rock Cave and back for the Leadership Upshur First Class graduation. That Dr. Moore is presenting the keynote address this evening, and Pam Ferris from Leadership West Virginia was in attendance. I had to leave early to be here with you, but it was turning out to be a very nice evening. That really went very, very well. The healthiest communities in the state have a leadership group that is a sub of Leadership West Virginia. Elkins, Randolph County just concluded their first leadership class with us as well. We did it kind of at the same time. So this is, we had, I believe, just shy of a dozen graduates, and they were here. We had several, Randy, Amby, we were here. We gave them a good presentation back in the winter time about the inner workings of City Hall. That program is getting ready to kickstart their second year. Applications are open, and so if you'll recall, last year we were a major sponsor in conjunction with the County Commission, the Development Authority, the college, Community Care, Strawberry Festival, the large entities in town, and so we're asking for that again. The investment level is $2,500. We discussed it in the Revenue and Expense Review Committee, and the members were in favor of this to recommend back to council. So I would entertain a motion for that $2,500 sponsorship again.
That's what we did last year.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion by Pam, we have a second by Randy. Is there any further discussion? Hearing the need for none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. And by the way, with that, we get a student. So we need to think about who we want from our city organization. Shane Jenkins was our, and he couldn't be at graduation this evening because of this, but he graduated from the program, and so he was our city representative this past time. So we need to be thinking about who that could be for this year. And that class will begin in September. And then F5, City of Buckhannon support of Channel 3 head-in connection to broadcast. Amby, do you want to speak to this, or do we need to go into?
Perhaps, this is something you had also mentioned to me too, so I started delving into it a little deeper, and Council McCauley might also weigh in here. So Channel 3 is part of our franchise agreement. Mm-hmm. And the Channel 3 is moving from the location they're at right now, and they need to move to a location that has a connection. And the connection, fiber connection. And the cost of that estimated fiber connection is about $5,000. So I don't know if you want to do this or not. We were also trying to look at whether council would possibly want them to move into any city facilities, and if there's an option there to do that. Other than that, when they move, if they don't have the connection, they will not be able to operate.
So that $5,000 it doesn't matter where they move, even if they move into a city facility, or would that?
No, there was
reduce
a
that?
location picked out that the Channel 3 was going to rent. Rodney, if you're comfortable with that, he can actually speak as to where they're moving. I didn't want to share that with anyone.
Since Jack's on the phone,
Yeah, I'm getting an office at the Legion building. It's actually where we started way back when. But now, the interesting thing is, back when Suddenlink had it and we originally did it, they would cover the cost of moving. So I guess it's something new. I mean, it's Optimum now, so Mr. O'Neill could probably, elaborate on that. But they're not going to cover the cost now. Channel 3 has always been directly connected with the franchise. I've always considered it, Buckhannon's station. That's why I branded it CH3 Buckhannon. So that's what I have. If you have questions, of course.
To your question, the way I understand it is, if they were to relocate, see, there's no fiber connection currently to the VFW or the American Legion. That's the reason for the $5,000 investment. But our city facilities, some of them, like the Colonial Theater here, we have a fiber connection established already.
We definitely have fiber here. We would have to check to see if the connection at the theater would be.
A lot of people think of fiber as internet, but that's actually not strictly true. Fiber can be any kind of data connection. So what we have is we have a data connection between a box that's literally like this big, it's tiny, to the head end at Optimum's office on 5th Street. And that fiber connection has to go all the way from that box to that head end for us to operate correctly. So basically what has to happen, and what the gentleman that did all the figures did, is it's got to be spliced into whatever lines that they own that they're able to splice into. So if we were to go into, let's say, like City Hall or something like that, they would have to find a fiber line that they are able to splice into in order to connect it. Now, the $5,000 figure was done based off of moving it to the Legion building, and I already have permission from them to do that. However, $5,000 is above what I'm able to do. And it's, like I said, it's part of the franchise, so I'm kind of at a point where, the Buckhannon kind of needs to decide how they want Channel 3 to go for the, how it's going to go.
It's basically.
Well, I think it's a valuable part of in the work that you do. I know a lot of people watch this and the other things, but this was something that suddenly was covering and now Optimum is not? Is that
correct? Yeah, Mr. Peter Brown, which I guess he since has left the company or something, I don't know. During COVID, all of my contacts, the phone goes to nothing, so. But anyways, Mr. Peter Brown was the one that was my contact, and they would cover it. They always said that it was part of the franchise. That's how I understood it.
Has the city proposed anything or communicated with Optimum about being part of the franchise?
I have not.
So this is a little tricky
for
me because I'm wearing two hats here. But I think I can walk the line here and say this. The franchise requires the system to provide the channel. It's the responsibility of the franchising authority to deliver the signal to the head end for broadcast. The company may have paid construction costs in the past. We, as a rule, and this isn't the only community where this has become an issue, generally do not at this point. There would be construction costs no matter where the new broadcast location would be. I asked them to look into both City Hall and the Colonial Theater. I don't know if they've responded with.
No, and yes, I asked you to do, to facilitate that.
So I don't know what the figures are for City Hall versus, and whether they would be, I believe they would be less. I don't know how much less they would be. So that's.
Maybe bundled. You got City Hall and the theater and Rodney's office.
Well, I mean, we already have fiber.
Well, it's not just having a fiber to the building connection you can plug into. It has to be a direct line with special equipment that's wired directly into the head end. So that's why there would be construction costs no matter where it were moved to. But the quote is just for the Legion building, which is farther than either of the two options. So that's why I would assume that either the theater or City Hall, it would be.
Now, does Channel 3, so there are technically two franchise agreements. There is one for the Upshur County Commission and one for the city of Buckhannon. Do the Upshur County residents receive the Channel 3 signal as well, or is this just within corporate limits?
No,
If they get the optimum service from the Buckhannon network, I guess you would consider it, then they get Channel 3.
Okay.
That was my question.
And it's outside of Upshur County even. I mean, we've had people, the edges of Weston.
That's where I'm going with this. Could we ask maybe a 50-50 contribution from the Upshur County Commission, because this signal gets carried far beyond our corporate limit line?
And there's more subscribers
Out.
in the county, about 1,000 more than what we had in the city. At least
Right.
that used to be the case. I don't know if that's.
That is still the case.
This is a one-time cost,
Yes.
Yeah.
correct? It's because you need to move your location, and why do you need to move your location?
The building we're in now is under, it's need a lot of repairs. And the guy I'm renting it off of needs to repair it, so we gotta get out of there.
But you have fiber there, you have the connection
Well, I
there,
do, yes.
obviously, yes.
Yeah.
All right, and was that something you had put in?
No, like I said, Suddenlink used to cover it.
They just followed you wherever you went?
Since I had, since I took over Channel 3, we moved twice. We used to be up there on WBUC Road, and then we moved to a White House out in Tennerton, and then to where we are now on Wabash.
And this is, and I asked this only for due diligence, I guess, but you're a private company, right?
Correct. Yeah, actually, the lease that we originally signed was for Channel 3, and we had a verbal agreement to operate it as a local station, which is something we've always honored.
Do you know if that's common in other municipalities, that the franchise agreement includes a privately owned company?
Well, the franchise agreement doesn't include, the city delegates its management of the channel to MV.
Mountain State Video.
Mountain State Video Imaging. The channel belongs to the city. It's the city's channel. The city has historically used their company to operate the channel, but it belongs to the city.
But what do you own then?
All I own is production equipment. And
So you, okay, that clarifies one thing.
Yes.
You don't own Channel 3.
No, I've never owned
Okay.
Channel 3.
But you can-
That's why I say I operate it.
But you can sell advertising on Channel 3.
Yes, because it was actually a lease with Suddenlink. Like I said, since Optimum
Yeah, I
took
think-
it over, it changed quite a bit.
I mean, I just think there's some clarity.
It's almost like we own the building, they operate a business within the building. So Channel 3 operates because of your work and your equipment and programming and everything. Just because we own the channel, we're not operating. We're just facilitating the opportunity for.
And what happens in a number of other communities that I work with is the city itself operates the channel.
Right.
And it owns the cameras and owns the broadcast equipment and everything that goes along. The city has offloaded that to Mountain State Video Imaging to handle all that part of it. In exchange for their work, they get to sell the advertising, whatever, in order to carry the operational costs of broadcasting the cities.
But I agree with CJ. It's valuable. I mean, there are a lot of people who watch it. It carries our meetings, Strawberry Festival parades, the Veterans Day parade, the homecoming parades, community announcements. There's a lot of people that receive a lot of information through that channel. So
If I could add to Tom's historical review of the situation, he's very correct. This goes all the way back to the, I think 86 or 87, when Triax Communications came to Buckhannon and took over the old franchise and bought it out. That was Jack Fewhart up in Tionesta, Pennsylvania. And we've worked over the last close to 40 years now with Rick Zickafus, and then Willie Critchfield, and then Peter Brown. And periodically they would ask for a letter that says, okay, City of Buckhannon, you can have a PEG, public educational governmental channel if you want. We'll promise you that on your lineup. And then it got dicey because we assigned it to Dan Brown, and then later, you know, the various permutations that followed. So, and that letter was always good enough for them to recognize, give the thumbs up. Okay,
And it still is.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no
we-
question.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not in question.
Right.
But ultimately, you know, the channel is the city's. It's actually, technically, there are actually 3 channels that the city gets under the franchise.
Yeah.
And it delegates out the operation to the.
So to bring it back to current times, how long is your lease proposed to be with the VFW? I mean, if 6 months you have to move again.
American Legion.
Pardon me?
American Legion.
Sorry. Okay, my mistake. What is the term of your lease in that location?
Just a year.
A 1-year lease?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it could be adjusted if it needs to be, but.
But if you have to move at the end of the year, then you have to pay it again.
Is there a city facility, Amby, whether it's in the basement or at Stockard?
I don't think it should be in this building.
I personally don't want to have it in this building. I have so many things stored.
Sure.
And trying to separate it and keep the restrooms, you know, and keep people, you know, that are coming in and out.
I'm sorry. Just a quick note. To operate Channel 3, really all it is a computer. And of course the box that sends it. You know, it's not like I'm asking for, like I would be asking for an office that I would be in any period of time. Would I need access to it? If there's a problem, I would need access to it. If not, it can be controlled through the internet, which that does create some technical challenges.
But it could definitely be done.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I've put it to people, Channel 3 is a computer in a corner.
Sure.
So.
Sure.
Well, if we, I mean.
We get the assessment.
Yeah, for the basement of the Colonial Theater, I'll put a rush on that and see if we can get. I know it's in construction's hands to get an estimate.
Yeah, that would be good to know. Dennis?
May I have the floor for a minute?
It's all yours.
This microphone?
Yeah, just grab it.
Thank you. As a member of the American Legion myself, I've been privy to some of the happenings involving in bringing Channel 3 to the office in the back of our building. And our leadership is extremely happy to have us. And I can't foresee a problem a year from now. I can't guarantee it, of course, but I don't foresee a problem of the lease being renewed again and again and again. Because that provides a little bit of income for the American Legion renting that office. Of course, it's trade for trade too sometimes. You know, the American Legion needs stuff put on the air, we do it, you know. So, but a thumbnail sketch of Mountain State Video Imaging and Channel 3. Channel 3 is simply a bandwidth on the cable system, whoever owns the cable. That Channel 3 has been operated by a number of companies over the years, as you remember. At one point, what was it, about 18 years ago? 17, I started Mountain State Video Imaging. I founded the company. We didn't have Channel 3 at the time. It was just for video production, you know. And I started with the intention of giving it to Rodney at some point in the future for his income. Because I'm service-connected disabled veteran. I'm a volunteer. I don't make any money off it. I own my own equipment. I buy my own equipment. He buys his own equipment. But about 2.5 years into the life of Mountain State Video Imaging, we had that office in the back room of the Legion at that time for a year, but we didn't have Channel 3 yet. And the time was appropriate, so I turned it over to Rodney. Now he owns the company. Instead of him working for me, I work for him. As a side note, it works out good for me. I don't have to pay the bills. Yeah. But we got Channel 3 shortly after that. And that's when we were in that big White House. Everything happened all at one time. We left the Legion building at that time and got Channel 3, and they moved into that big White House down in Tennyson where that car lot is now. From there, they moved to the Wabash Avenue address where they're at right now. I'm still with Channel 3. But like I say, I'm a volunteer. Rodney's pretty much a volunteer too, even though he charges money for his labor. I don't, but we don't want to lose Channel 3.
No.
Well, I don't, and we're not going to. We just have to figure out the right spot and the right logistic for it that works for everybody. That's the we've had a lengthy discussion about this. I think we can check with the theater. We can check with Optimum. We've got some options here to see what we can move forward with. But we're not losing. We're not doing away with this channel. No. I don't want anybody to think that it's valuable. We recognize that, and so we want to make it work for everybody and put them in the best possible position it can be to be successful. That's where we're at.
And that's, I agree with the mayor and Dennis and Dave. Appreciate the historical perspectives on everything. I ran a camera for Dan Brown when I was in high school, Channel 3. So it's all good. But we're talking about now, today, and I just want to make sure we make the right decision and get Channel 3 located in the right spot. And if $5,000, I understand.
With American Legion.
Well,
Commander,
I understand that, but if we have to expend taxpayer money, it's got to work for us too. If we can not pay that, and we can set Channel 3, then maybe we can talk with the American Legion about a way forward. But
may I recommend then that when you do discuss locations, please include the American Legion leadership in the discussions. That's all I ask.
I can keep them updated.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis.
So do we want to table this, or
I think we could have a decision made by the 15th meeting.
In the meantime, we'll talk to the
Yeah,
county commission.
I have a
absolutely.
question. Why did they leave there to start with if they're going back there? I mean, what was the reason for
When
leaving
we
to
were
start
in
with?
that room before, we didn't have Channel 3.
Right.
We had cable coming in for internet for our office, Sponsor State Video Imaging. We keep things like weddings, funerals, bar mitzvahs.
Right, I understand that, but I'm just saying, you moved
we
out
get
and now
Channel
you're
3
going
in that
back.
location.
I think I can answer that actually better. When we were in the office, we were running the company as a production company, of course. When I took over Channel 3, it was at McGraw and Elliott's building up there on WBUC Road. Actually, they were leasing it, but it was when the radio stations were up there. And I worked for them for running, I was doing Channel 3 there. And so when it was more practical instead of moving the fiber from there, which it was there for quite a while, to down the Legion building, that I would just pay a rent there to do it there, and that's what we did until they ended up the radio, West Virginia Radio, and one of their side companies ended up buying McGraw and Elliott out, and so it ended up to where we had to leave from there, and that's when we moved.
And again, the historical perspective of all this is great, but we just need to, we got to work forward.
Yeah.
And from now on, my thing, like I said, I've always very much considered Channel 3 the Buckhannon station.
Sure.
I've honored that perspective of it, and I'm good with whatever you guys want to do with it. I do a lot of production on the side that's not related to Channel 3, but I enjoy doing Channel 3 very much.
Well, and we appreciate everything that you do. I mean, you're very easy to work with. You're at so many community functions. I mean, people see what happened. We'll take it back, or give it to Rodney.
Yeah, give it. I got to say,
we're very appreciative of everything that you do. You deliver because of you, content is delivered to people that otherwise wouldn't see it. So,
Yeah, you're an asset, Robbie.
Thank you.
All right, do we want to have, is there a motion to table this until the 15th meeting? All right, we have a motion by Randy, a second by CJ. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay, we are down to council comments and announcements, and we will begin with Pamela Buckley.
I have nothing, thank you.
David McCauley.
Great Strawberry Festival. Town looked great. Thanks to our employees. That's part of what you did yesterday. This is the start of my 41st year associated with the city today.
Wow.
When I did it for 20, I said, I'm good for another 20, and they kind of moaned and groaned. I'm not good for another 40. I'm giving you my notice right now. I'm not good for another 40. And I've still got 6-7 years to catch Amby, so I don't know. It's not looking good to be the top. Is there any property updates of any sort that would be
Not
worth,
really,
asking for
no.
an executive session? I didn't even ask for it.
I met with the bank about one in Charleston last week, but not much.
I won't ask for it then.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Except your August 3 meeting, is the municipal leg coming up?
Yes.
Maybe at your June 15th meeting, since you've only got one in July, you could reschedule the August 3 meeting.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, we could look at that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the summer's, we already talked about August. I can't believe that, so. Yeah. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Rigger.
I don't have anything tonight other than Strawberry Festival was fantastic, and congratulations to Nurse Fire.
Thanks, Jack. We are missing Mr. Thomas tonight. He's not well again. Please keep him in your best thoughts, wishes, and prayers. Let's go to Mr. Rylands. Welcome back, CJ, to town.
Well, glad to be here among the living. Today's Create Buckhannon meeting, we learned that the Carter Roag coal mine at the end of the rail line from Buckhannon up to Turkey Bone is closing. And that's 200 jobs up there. I don't know the reason, but I was told that they're going to be dismantling and salvaging the prep plant and everything, but that's the whole rail line all the way up there. So I would encourage anyone and everyone to try to think about how we can preserve either the rails or have a trail there or something, because it follows the Buckhannon River all the way up there.
Yeah, it goes from right here, it goes all the way up there.
And it's a beautiful stretch, so and I'm sure there's significant value in trying to salvage the lines and the ties and whatnot, so there's probably a number they have in mind for that. But, you know, I think if we get on this early, maybe we can figure something out. And I think the previous director at the development office there is now working for the railroad, Jennifer. And she'll be in town this weekend.
We're not in her territory.
But she may have some
yeah.
insight in how to communicate, because they're historically very difficult to try to communicate with. So
Yeah.
that's all.
If you have never traversed the Buckhannon River southbound, it is really a treat. From Sego south, it's a totally different river. You wouldn't believe it. It is rocky, it is rapidy, there's waterfalls everywhere, and there's nothing along it. It is untouched. It is probably, I won't even say probably, it is the most beautiful river in the state. And I have a lot of secret spots on it because I've traversed it from Sego all the way to Alexander. I've hiked the whole thing. It is spectacular. I send Katie Kuba Snapchats of it when I get back, and she says, "Oh my gosh, where is that? You have to tell me." So it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful river. So I agree, CJ, if we can, as much as I'd hate to give up my secret spots on the river for photography and whatnot, I would be more than, I really hope that we can leverage that because it is a spectacular water flow route through this county. So,
Bike folks would love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and this is a special week for me.
Yeah, but just something little going on. Little something going on.
Exactly,
People
yeah.
seem to, I don't know. Yeah.
We've been busy this week at the Performing Arts Center at West Virginia Wesleyan College, getting the sets ready. I have a production team in from Charleston, from Weirton, West Virginia, putting the final touches on. Our choreographer landed. So the Miss West Virginia USA and Miss West Virginia Teen USA pageant will be held this weekend, once again here in Buckhannon. And it also marks the final pageant that I'll ever produce. I'm officially retiring from the world of pageantry. It's been about 47 years since I set up my first chair at an auditorium. 28 years I've been a full-time state director under the Miss Universe organization. 9 years prior to that I worked full-time for another state director. But since I've been producing pageants, 6,983 ladies have competed in a pageant associate production. 6,983 contestants have walked across my stage, so I'm very humbled. We have a stellar panel of judges, one from Ohio, one from North Carolina, one from Pennsylvania, one from Florida, one from Los Angeles, California will be here. We have some special guests. I have two ladies who were my chaperones for many, many years. They're in Buckhannon tonight, one from Ohio, one from Washington, Pennsylvania, at the young age of 90 and 87, and they're at your restaurant eating right now. All right, so, and I'll tell you what, they're quite ladies. And I just learned that the president of the Miss Universe organization, Paula Shugart, is flying in on Saturday and will be with us here Saturday and Sunday, heading back Monday. So it's going to be a bittersweet weekend, but I'm ready to retire from that industry. It's been a great industry. It's been a great run for me. I thank all the folks that have worked with me over these many decades in doing it. And it'll free up some time that I can dedicate to being city recorder and the information officer. So come join us. Our shows are at 7 p.m. Saturday at the Performing Arts Center at West Virginia Wesleyan. Final show at 3 p.m. on Sunday. The mayor's going to be there. We'll have a special red carpet event too, a meet and greet at the Opera House Saturday night. It's going to be a great weekend of pageantry, and it's one final time for my announcing. I'll still be doing some emceeing, of course, and some radio work. We got to keep people shopping where friends tell friends to shop. I'll be doing those ads. But anyway, thanks for indulging me. It's going to be a great weekend.
Well, thank you for the last, what is it, 4, 5? How many years? 4. 4? 4 years for bringing this event to Buckhannon and putting us on the map with the company and with the franchise. We appreciate you bringing people to Buckhannon and filling the hotels and restaurants and our streets, and they can enjoy all that our city has to offer. So we'll look forward to this weekend. Thanks everybody again for a fantastic Strawberry Festival. Lots of positive feedback. I've served on that board before, but not in the capacity as mayor. So I was a busy pup from the end of March through the Strawberry Festival weekend. But it was a great festival. We worked hard to put on a great event for our community, and I know that of course our city employees did a fantastic job, and we thanked them again yesterday. And so thanks to the community for a great Strawberry Festival, and we look forward to another great summer festival. Friday starts tomorrow. Come down to Jawbone Park. So we'll be excited to welcome back music and food and entertainment and fellowship to Jawbone Park for another season. So please come out and support our community events. That is it. Unless anybody has anything else. At 8:43, I'd entertain a motion. So we adjourn.
So,
Second.